It's been, ups and downs, probably like lots of families, but also spending lots of time at home. We've had lots of this homeschooling, which was challenging.
Yeah, homeschooling's fun.
Don't tell the children we've actually kept it going through the holidays. I feel very mean.
Today, Will and Kate drop in on BBC Breakfast. Meghan appears on Good Morning America.
I hope that when people see this film, they realize how connected we all are. And if we had more of an awareness about the obstacles they're facing, I think we take care of each other, this planet, and animals in a very different way.
And Harry gives a shout out to parents and healthcare professionals.
The resilience and the strength that you guys have is absolutely incredible. And you must never, ever, ever, ever forget that.
Welcome to the Royal Report, everyone. I'm your host, Sharon Carpenter, and it's been another busy week, so let's get right to the news. Last Wednesday, we got a special look at Prince Harry sporting one of his longtime charities, Well Child. The UK organisation shared a special 30-minute video call where the Duke chatted with parents and health professionals about the struggles of caring for seriously ill children during the COVID-19 crisis. Here's a clip.
This is hard on everyone, but it is especially hard on you. And I know that Colin and Well Child are doing everything they can to support you guys. And of course, there's going to be hard days. I can't even begin to imagine how hard it is for you guys. You're having one kid at 11 months old.
On Thursday, People confirmed that Harry and Meghan had quietly spent Easter Sunday and last Wednesday delivering meals for the Los Angeles-based charity Project Angel Food, and they were at it again on Friday. According to the organization's executive director, Richard Ayoub, Meghan said that she wanted to show Harry Los Angeles through the eyes of philanthropy. What a great way to get out and help their new community. Also on Thursday, Prince William opened the NHS Nightingale Hospital in Birmingham, appearing via video link. The Duke also took the opportunity to share his appreciation for those who made the new field hospital possible.
I want to thank you all so much for what you are doing to ensure we give the best possible care to those affected at this most challenging of times. And finally, I'm delighted to declare the NHS Nightingale Hospital Birmingham officially open.
People also confirmed on Thursday that Princess Beatrice and her fiancé Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi have formally cancelled their May 29th royal wedding because of the coronavirus pandemic. A spokesperson for the couple told People they aren't even thinking about their wedding at this time. There will come a time to rearrange, but that's not yet. Last Friday, William and Kate made a special appearance on the morning show BBC Breakfast. In a wide-ranging interview, the royal couple discussed the importance of staying connected with others during the coronavirus pandemic, even if it presents some technological and toddler-based challenges. Here's a clip.
We've done many a family thing. We've been talking to all the family online, and it's been a really good way of keeping in touch.
It gets a bit hectic, I'm not going to lie, with the 2-year-old. He often wants to take the phone or he's right.
Well, for some reason, he sees the red button and always wants to press the red button.
On Sunday, Harry and Meghan sent a strongly worded letter to the editors of 4 UK tabloids, notifying them that there will be, quote, no corroboration and zero engagement with their publications. Of course, this will not be a blanket policy across all media. The Duke and Duchess are only cutting ties to the Daily Mail, The Sun, The Mirror, and The Express. More on this story later. On Monday, Prince Philip released a rare statement recognizing the, quote, vital and urgent work being done by so many to tackle the pandemic. The message, which was shared on the royal family's social media pages, also noted the prince's appreciation for the tireless efforts of key workers. And we couldn't agree with you more, Philip. Also, on Monday, Good Morning America gave us our first chance to hear from Meghan about her voiceover work for the Disney nature documentary Elephant. In a Disney interview recorded last summer, the Duchess opened up about some of the lessons she hopes viewers may take away from the film.
I've been very lucky to be able to have hands-on experience with elephants in their natural habitat. When you spend time connecting to them and the other wildlife, you really understand we have a role to play in their preservation and their safety.
And finally, as we're taping this on Tuesday, today is the Queen's 94th birthday. Well, this year's celebrations have been cancelled. The royal family shared this special post on Instagram. And all of us here at the Royal Report want to wish the Queen a very happy birthday. All right, joining me now, People Senior News Editor Erin Hill is with us. Erin, so good to see you. It's been a while. We missed you.
I know. It's great to see you.
Okay, as we mentioned earlier, Harry and Meghan sent letters to 4 major UK tabloids on Sunday, notifying them that the royal couple will no longer engage with them. So, Erin, just how unprecedented is this new policy, and why is it happening now?
It's incredibly groundbreaking. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. Traditionally, the royal family's relationship with the press is very symbiotic. So they use each other. The royals use the press to get out their good work that they're doing in the charities, and in turn, the press then gets information about their family life, like photos of the kids and things to sell papers. But, you know, Harry and Meghan have been outspoken from the get-go about the tabloid press and the unfair treatment they feel like they've been receiving, and it's specifically from these 4 major UK tabloids. So now that they're no longer members of the royal family and they're kind of setting out this new life and establishing kind of a new policy outside of the royal realm, they felt like this was the time to send this message and to send this groundbreaking, unprecedented letter to these 4 editors explaining their position and why they will no longer work with them.
On Monday, Meghan's legal team filed new documents in her ongoing lawsuit against the British tabloid Mail on Sunday and its publishers, Associated Newspapers. These filings contain texts from both Harry and Meghan to her father, Thomas Markle, in the days before their wedding. Erin, what are your sources telling you about the importance of these now public texts?
This is incredibly important because this is the first time we're hearing Meghan and Harry's side of this story that was really dominated headlines in the days leading up to the royal wedding. It was all about what was going on with her father. Was her father coming to the wedding, not coming to the wedding? Did he work with paparazzi on staging photos? Didn't he? Was he in the hospital? What was happening? And the royal way is to really kind of stay the course and not speak out about things as they're going on in the press and playing out in the press. So Harry and Meghan at the time weren't really able to share their side of the story, but now through these texts, we're able to see what was going on behind the scenes and really showcases and highlights the great lengths they went to through these texts to try to reach out to Thomas Markle. I mean, you can see kind of the desperation in these texts. Harry saying, you know, please, we're trying to help. We're not angry. Answer our calls. You know, they said in the text they wanted to send down security protection for him. Meghan revealed in these texts she didn't know he had been sick and was in the hospital and what was going on. So it's really a lot of insight into those frantic, stressful days leading up to the wedding and what was really going on.
Very revealing indeed. All right, now let's turn to William and Kate. We're more than a month into this international quarantine, and I think we've all been impressed with the Cambridges.
Yes.
Specifically, how they've been using social media as a way to really connect with the British people. I want to play just one example. This is from the Cambridges' surprise call to staff members at the Queen's Hospital, Burton in Staffordshire, England.
I'd just like to say from the 2 of us, you know, how proud we are of all of you and how amazing you're all doing. Under extreme circumstances. Now, I know all of you, you know, you see this as your job and you get on with it, but generally this is a different level, and you guys are doing an incredible job.
Erin, do you agree? Have you been impressed with Kensington Royal over the past few weeks?
Absolutely. I mean, they've really found a way to continue their royal work through social media, through Zoom calls, phone calls, letters, just sort of reaching out on social media and tagging different charities and using this time to really connect still.
It seems to me the Cambridges have never really come across this accessible and this real. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we've seen them in some candid moments. We've never really seen them before. And I mean, I can't remember a time where we've seen kind of behind the scenes in their home office, you know, Kate sitting at her desk on the phone, the 2 of them sitting side by side on a Zoom call with a charity really paints them in a more candid light and more down to earth and more relatable. You know, we're used to seeing Kate in these coat dresses and looking so regal and royal, and now here she is in a sweater sitting next to William on a Zoom call. And the fact that they're even sharing these kind of candid moments about what like life is like at home now, in isolation with their kids, homeschooling. This really great anecdote William shared about how Louis, who turns 2 this week, keeps on wanting to press the red button and end Zoom calls when they're on it with the family. So yeah, we haven't seen them like this before.
Now, the other thing I want to discuss here is their message, William and Kate's message, because this isn't just about William and Kate being more accessible. They're also supporting extremely important causes, one of which is something the Cambridges have long been championing and something that's even more important now during the COVID-19 crisis. That, of course, is mental health. Erin, can you recap for us what they've been doing over the past few weeks for mental health advocacy?
Yeah, and all of their outreach and support about the pandemic, the underlying message here is mental health awareness. And that has been their major platform for the past several years for both of them. And so they've used this time to kind of bring awareness to the mental health challenges that are going on right now with people in isolation. And coming up next, they're really going to focus on those frontline healthcare workers and the unique struggle and challenges they have facing their own mental health. And so William and Kate are pulling together all of the major mental health charities that they work with and kind of joining together to form an online resource for them, kind of one-on-one, messaging and online resources and ways that they can connect to kind of talk through the issues they're going through. And this is really important, especially for William. He's a former search and rescue pilot. He has been there in times of crisis. He's been on the front lines before, and he's talked about the mental anguish that a lot of these moments can have on someone who's working in these emergency situations. So he knows just as well as they do kind of this challenging time, and he wants to help.
All right, Erin, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Great to see you.
We have to take a quick break now, but when we return, we'll be speaking with one of the stars of the new Broadway show, Diana, A True Musical Story. Welcome back, everyone. We are so excited to be joined right now by Roe Hartrampf, who is starring as Prince Charles in the new Broadway show, Diana, A True Musical Story. Roe, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
It's a pleasure. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Now, the show had begun previews back on March 2nd. It was scheduled to officially open on March 31st. But that, of course, was before Broadway was shut down on March 12th due to the coronavirus. So first off, Roe, what was it like to have the show shut down so abruptly, just 2.5 weeks before its official opening?
I mean, it was disappointing, but I felt very lucky at the same time to be working with such an incredible team of people, both on stage, backstage, and in the production team. We'd all become so close during the time of tech and the first 2 weeks of previews that it really felt like a family. And Beth and our other producers made a real point of saying, like, this is not goodbye. We're not worried about shutting down forever. This is just see you soon, take a break, everybody rest up, and we're going to jump right back in when we can.
Now, are you doing anything to stay connected to your character on the show at the moment and the production? Or do you have to sort of step away and forget it until things get back up and running? What's your strategy there?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think I'll be doing a little bit of both. It is nice to, in a way, I've been spending so much time with Charles that it is nice to get a little bit of a breather. But at the same time, like I follow him on Instagram. I watch his recent address about his condition and wishing well to everyone in the UK in the shutdown. But I think it's gonna, as we get closer to when we will hopefully be starting rehearsals back up, I'll jump back in with doing sort of daily exercises and some YouTube research to get back in with the dialect and the mannerisms.
Makes sense. All right. Well, let's talk about the musical itself. Tell us a bit about the show and what audience goers can expect when they check it out.
Yeah, I think that audience members are going to be actually really surprised at how much fun our show is. We really want to emphasize that this show is a celebration of Diana's life and her accomplishments in her charity work and her rise from a sort of naive 19-year-old to one of the most influential women of the 20th century. But at the same time that we're telling this very, serious, important story, we're not shying away from being a little bit cheeky at the same time. So there's a lot of moments of laughter, a lot of moments of surprise, some wonderful costume changes and theater magic on stage, thanks to William Ivy Long. So there's really a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah, a good mix of emotions when you
Absolutely.
go watch the show then.
Yeah.
Well, what attracted you to this role of Prince Charles in the first place? And what was the audition process like?
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually learned about this show from Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I saw a post on Instagram from a magazine with a headline about the fact that this musical was in development. And I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I wrote my agent an email and said, I want to go back to New York and I want to be in this musical. So
what made you want to do it so badly?
Well, what a fascinating character, right? He's someone that everyone thinks that they know and everyone has an opinion about or a take on. So I was really excited to try and approach his story from a really empathetic position of trying to understand who the man is at the center of all of this attention, all of this sort of grandeur and these stories that we all think that we know. Who is the guy at the center who, wanted to fall in love with someone, wanted to achieve his goals in life, wanted to help other people, and how he either became misinterpreted or fell off that path. This is sort of a weird thing to say, but I've really fallen in love with Charles, and I think I appreciate him in a way that I absolutely did not before I did all this research. And I don't think a lot of people who think they know the story, I don't think they understand Charles and where he's coming from. And so now I'm really excited to sort of champion him in a way in this show.
Prince Charles seems to have such a distinct way of speaking. As an American, how hard was it to get his accent down?
I think, I've always been lucky to have an ear for accents and languages. So it was actually a really exciting challenge. So I think it was just something that you have to take from the background, that he's a highly educated sort of posh individual, or maybe the most posh person in the world. But what I tried to focus on a lot is the sort of the rhythm and the musicality of Charles's speech, and the way that he sort of searches for the perfect word to get across his point. He's such an intelligent man, and he values communication so highly that he's really trying to find the perfect word to express what he's thinking to other people. And then the way that he always goes down at the end of his sentences once he's made his point. In a much lighter way, I watched a lot of Hugh Grant movies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that just that sort of posh, in a way almost nervous, sort of just like I'm doing right now, sort of vocal fry, searching for the right word. I watched a lot of Notting Hill.
My relatively inexperienced heart would, I fear, not recover if I was once again cast aside, as I would absolutely expect to be.
Well, I asked Diana before she went to Australia, 2-3 days before, because I thought it would be a good idea that, apart from anything else, if she went to Australia, she could then think about it, and if she didn't like the idea, she could say she didn't, or if she did, she could say that.
Similar, it's definitely a similar accent. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's funny. I hope that, Charles, if you were to ever hear about this, was not insulted by that idea, but coming from zero, it was helpful to me to research someone who was equally posh and intelligent, as Hugh Grant.
Before taking on the role, what did you know about Prince Charles and his relationships with Diana and Camilla as well?
Yeah, I think I had the, sort of the basic level of knowledge, my experience with the royal family in the 90s when these stories were actually happening was sort of limited. I think, my sister was really obsessed with Prince William, as any red-blooded young woman was. But I think that one of the, I remember distinctly the morning when the news came out that Princess Diana had passed away, tragically, that really stands out in my mind. But before then, I think my understanding of Charles was just that he was, the heir to the throne, and there was, and that sort of, but in terms of his relationship with Camilla and Diana and the timeline, I definitely was not as aware of the story as I am now.
Yeah, now that you've inhabited the character for quite some time now, how exactly has that changed the way you see the real Charles? It has changed the way you view him, but in what way?
Yeah, I think that I have a lot more empathy for Charles. What an impossible position to be put in, to feel the weight of the job that you're put on this earth to do. You need to wait 70 years to start, and how complicated is that the feelings of helplessness, the feelings of responsibility in just your daily life. And on top of that, the idea that getting married and finding a partner is not just about you, but also about the future of a nation and how much pressure that puts one under. So I think that what I've tried to do is really push aside the the things that maybe I can't relate to, like the palaces, the clothes, the bank accounts, and try and focus on the man at the center and what those emotions must be like, and things that I can relate to in terms of relationships and searching for love and wanting to be good at your job and wanting to be valued by your family. So I think all those things have helped me understand Charles and where he's coming from a lot better.
Charles and Camilla just celebrated their 15th wedding anniversary, and
Incredible.
15 years was also the official length of Charles and Diana's marriage. How do you think this musical will change the way that the public sees this famous love triangle?
I think that people will come away with a lot more appreciation for Camilla and understanding of when she and Charles met and what their relationship was like before Charles met Diana. I think that, especially in America, audiences really have an appreciation for Diana and understanding of what she meant to the world. And they have a little bit of understanding of what Charles meant to the world and what Charles is going to continue to mean to the world. But in terms of where Camilla fits in all of that, I think that this show will provide a much better understanding and a much better timeline for the relationship and the love story really between Charles and Camilla.
Wow, well, I know I can't wait to see it. And I know all of New York can't wait for Broadway to open up again. Ro, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully we can have you back on the show post-quarantine when we're back in our studio, because it's pretty fabulous.
So nice to be here. Thanks so much.
The Royal Reports will be right back. Welcome back. It's time now for our social media minute with our social media correspondent, Jillian Fleischman. Jillian, how are you doing?
Hi, Sharon. I'm good. Excited to be here.
Great. What do you have for us?
The Royals posted a bunch of great content this week. Last Wednesday, Princess Eugenie posted these 2 photos in honor of World Art Day. The first featured a photograph of a pink flower, and the second was a painted version she did some years ago. A gorgeous addition to my feed. Last Thursday, in honor of William Shakespeare's birthday on April 23rd, the Clarence House Instagram posted this flashback photo of a 17-year-old Prince Charles playing the lead in Macbeth. They encouraged their followers to hashtag share your Shakespeare and post their own photos to celebrate the bard's birthday. Keep the throwback images coming, Charles. Last Friday, the Kensington Royal Instagram page shared this moving video from the NHS promoting mental health. The video is narrated by William and Kate and encouraged everyone to look after their well-being during this anxious time. They also provided their followers with tips and suggestions for ways to make this happen. Great to see William and Kate keeping this important topic one of their main priorities. And finally, this past Monday, ahead of the Queen's birthday this week, the royal family's Instagram story shared childhood photos of her and facts about her life. The story highlighted who she was named after, where she grew up, and even the letter she wrote to her parents as a present for their coronation in 1937. Love getting a look back at Queen Elizabeth's early years. And that's your social media minute.
All right, awesome stuff, Jillian. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sharon.
Okay, it's time for a quick break, but coming up, a very special young royal is about to celebrate a birthday. Find out who when we return. Welcome back, everyone. Now, as I hope everyone is well aware, young Prince Louis will be turning 2 on Thursday. So naturally, we are celebrating with this week's great moments in royal history.
I don't know if you guys have heard, but a royal baby is on the way this morning. You didn't know that?
On April 23rd, 2018, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge celebrated the birth of their 3rd child, Prince Louis Arthur Charles. Prince George and Princess Charlotte also made an appearance that day as they arrived to meet their baby brother just before he was introduced to the world. Born just after 11 a.m. at St. Mary's Hospital, the 8-pound 7-ounce prince was 5th in line to the throne. And like his royal siblings, he also landed on the cover of People.
How you feeling, Duke?
Very happy, very delighted. Boy's worried now.
Now, before we go, let's check in with Max, shall we? Max, aka the Count of Cuteness. How are you holding up? Good to hear it, Max. Now, earlier, Max asked me to remind everyone that it's currently National Pet Month in the UK, and he forwarded me the royal family's recent Instagram post. As you see, the Queen shared several old photographs of herself and her beloved corgis. Hold on, wait a minute. Can we go back a picture? Ah, I thought so. That's Max right there. Max, I had no idea you were so good at Photoshop. Very cute, though. Very cute. All right, Royal Watchers. That's our show for today. Remember to follow People on Twitter to watch the latest episodes of The Royal Report, streaming every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm Sharon Carpenter. And Max, why don't you say goodbye for the both of us?